Now here we will solve some example using epsilon delta concept of limit. Starting with example number 1. Prove that by using epsilon delta concept, prove that limit extending to CB equals B. Here the function is B, constant function. So obviously its limit will be constant. We all know that, but we have to prove it using epsilon delta concept. Now here fx is equals our B, right? And this is our L. That means we need to show that fx minus L should be less than epsilon, and for that reason we have to find the value of delta. This is our main work, just to find the value of delta. And we have the relation in our hand is that fx minus L should be less than epsilon and x minus C should be less than delta and greater than 0. These two conditions we have in our hand. We have to find out the value of delta from these two relations. Now just put the value of fx and L. Fx is our B, L is our B, that is this is equal 0, right? Which is obviously less than epsilon, because we know epsilon is greater than 0. We are dealing with the greater than 0 epsilons. That is, this quantity is less than epsilon. Then what will be the value of delta? Delta depends on that epsilon. Now we can take any positive delta, right? Because whenever you choose any value of delta, this will always satisfy this condition, 0 less than x minus C less than delta. And for any delta, this quantity fx minus L will obviously be less than epsilon, because this value is 0. So here any positive delta will work. The value of delta will be greater than 0. This is the required answer. Next example is prove that using epsilon delta combination concept, prove that limit extending to 1 x square minus 1 by x minus 1 equals 2. Prove that limit extending to 1 x square minus 1 by x minus 1 equals 2. Okay, so this is our fx, this is our L, and this is our C. We have that x minus C less than delta. That means x minus 1 is less than delta, right? We know the value of delta. We don't know the value of delta. We have to find out the value of delta. And we have another concept, which is fx minus L must be less than epsilon. So starting with fx minus L, let's check when it is less than epsilon. Fx minus L, putting the value x square minus 1 by x minus 1 minus 2. Now there will be one component which will be cancelled out, and it will become x plus 1 minus 2. That means x minus 1, right? And we already have that this x minus 1 is less than delta, which is equals less than delta. And we know fx minus L is also less than epsilon. That means if we choose delta equals epsilon, then our work will be done, because we already have fx minus L is less than epsilon. So x minus 1 is also will be less than delta. We are choosing delta equals epsilon. So this is our required answer. That is, our required delta would be equal to epsilon. Okay. Next, moving to another example. Prove that using epsilon delta concept, limit extending to C x square equals C square. Extending to C x square equals C square. We have to prove that. That is, this is our fx, this is our L, and this is C. We have 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta. We don't know the value of delta, we have to find it. Starting with fx minus L. That is x square minus c square. So it will become mod x plus c into mod x minus c. Now check, we can, instead of that x minus c, we can put it is less than delta, because we have this notation in our hand. But we don't know what to do with that x plus c. We can't put it like this because x is a variable. So for that reason, we are choosing another delta. Our work is just to find the value of delta, right? So for that reason, we are choosing some delta 1. So let delta 1 equals, you can choose whatever value you want from the domain set, obviously. So I am choosing here delta equals, suppose 1. So let us choose, let delta 1 equals 1. Then what will we have? That is x minus c less than delta. So we can write from there x minus c less than 1. Now expanding this one, what we can write from this? We can write mod x minus mod c, this quantity, this is always less or equal to mod x minus c. As we know, this is a standard inequality, and which is again less than 1, right? So from there what we can write, mod x less or equal to mod c plus 1. Okay. Now starting with fx minus L. What we have in fx minus L? We get the value of fx minus L is x plus c to x minus c, right? Now we can write this part as mod x plus mod c, because this is triangle inequality, and keeping this part as same, because we know this quantity is less than delta. We don't want to change it. We are just trying to remove the x from this part, the remaining part, and we get this x is less or equal to mod c plus 1. So putting this value here, so it will be mod c plus 1 plus mod c, this one, and the remaining part is x minus c, that is 2 mod c plus 1 mod x minus c, right? Now this is our fx minus L. We need to prove this quantity is less than epsilon. Now from there, if we write this quantity is less than epsilon, if this x minus c is less than epsilon by 2c plus 1, right? We are just keeping this x minus c on the left hand side and putting the other part on the right hand side. So x minus c must be less than epsilon by 2c plus 1, and we know that x minus c is always less than delta, so we are choosing this quantity as delta 2. Okay, so we have already chosen delta 1 is equals 1 and delta 2 is equals this epsilon by 2c plus 1. So now we are considering finally our delta as it should be minimum of that delta 1 comma delta 2. Delta 1 was 1 and delta 2 is epsilon by 2c plus 1. Okay, so this is our required delta. So for any pre-assigned epsilon greater than 0, we will get the value of delta, which will be the minimum value of 1 comma epsilon by 2c plus 1. Here I have chosen the preliminary value of delta as 1. You can choose anything, whatever you want. Half, 1/3, whatever you want, you can choose it. So the value of delta is the minimum value of 1 and epsilon by 2c plus 1. Okay. Now moving to the next example. Prove that by using epsilon delta concept, limit extending to c, 1 by x equals 1 by c. Obviously C greater than 0. If C equals 0, then there is nothing to say. Limit extending to C, 1 by x equals 1 by C. We have to prove it. This is our fx, this is our L. We have fx minus L must be less than epsilon. So this is 1 by x minus 1 by c. And again we have in our hand is x minus c less than delta. Right? This one. We have to find that delta. So fx from fx minus L we will get this. That means c minus x by cx, this modulus value. We can write it as x minus c because this is under mod. We can write it obviously by mod x into mod c. Now what will be the value of delta? We can write for this part there will be no problem because this is less than delta. And for mod c this is also constant. We can put it anywhere. The only problem will be created by this part, mod x, right? So we need to find out something which is we can write less than and then which can absorb this mod x. So for that reason what we are doing, we are choosing a preliminary value for delta. Just like the previous problem, we are choosing any preliminary value for delta. Let's say the preliminary value of delta is delta 1, which is equals, I am choosing c by 2. You can choose anything. I am choosing delta 1 equals c by 2. Then x minus c is less than delta 1, that is x minus c is less than that c by 2. Now expand it, minus c by 2 less than x minus c less than c by 2. So from there we can write, if we add plus c on both sides, we will get c by 2 less than x less than 3c by 2. So from there, now check in this here we have 1 by x, right? Now whenever x is greater than something, 1 by x is less than that thing. That is here x is greater than c by 2, right? So from here what we can write, 1 by x is less than 2 by c. So from here we can write 1 by x, we are considering this part. So just by taking the reciprocal, the sign of inequality has been changed. So 1 by x greater than 2 by c. Sorry, less than 2 by c, because x was greater than c by 2. So 1 by x is less than 2 by c. Now 1 by mod x must be less than 2 by mod c. Right? Now we are using this inequality over there. Here. So what we can write? From there we can write mod x minus c by mod x mod c. That was the first one. Now then this quantity less than, keeping the mod x minus c as same, and this quantity is less than this 1 by x, this is less than 2 by mod c. So 2 by mod c into mod c, that is mod x minus c into 2 by c square. C square and mod c square both are same because square means obviously positive. You can write mod c square also. So this quantity is less than x minus c into 2 by c square. Now what was that? That was fx minus L, our fx minus L. Now this fx minus L is must be less than epsilon. So the whole quantity is less than epsilon if we are keeping this fixed and putting the other terms on the other side. So if x minus c less than epsilon by c square by 2, that is c square into 2, that is 2 epsilon by c square. Sorry, epsilon c square by 2. X minus c will be less than if x minus c is less than epsilon c square by 2. Now we are choosing this quantity as our new delta, which is called delta 2. So we get total 2 delta. That means our new delta will be minimum of delta 1 comma delta 2, right? And what was our delta 1? Delta 1 was c by 2. We have chosen it. And delta 2 is epsilon c square by 2. This is the required value of delta for this limit. Okay. This is how we find out the value of delta. Moving to the next example. Next example is example number 5. Using epsilon delta concept, find out the limit. Limit extending to 2 x cube minus 4 by x square plus 1 equals 4 by 5. Prove that this one using epsilon delta concept. This is fx, this is L, and this is our C. Always x minus c less than delta. That means x minus 2 is here less than delta. We have to find that delta. Starting with fx minus L. Put the value x cube minus 4 by x square plus 1 minus 4 by 5. Just apply simple calculation. We will get a 5 into x square plus 1, then 5x cube minus 4x square, and then it will be 20 and 4, that is minus 24. This one. Now check, we have this condition in our hand, that is x minus 2 is less than delta, right? We want to use it. So for that reason, from the numerator we are trying to find the factor x minus 2. So for that reason, in rough we are dividing this numerator by x minus 2. Then we will get, it can be written as x minus 2 into 5x square plus 6x plus 12. If you divide it by x minus 2, you will easily get that factor, 5x square plus 6x plus 12 by 5 into x square plus 1. Whole thing is under mod. This is our fx minus L. We have to prove this quantity should be less than epsilon, and for that epsilon we need to find out one delta. This is our main work. Now check, this part is already okay because it is less than delta. So we need to, and 5 is also okay because it's a constant. So the problem maker is here this one and this one, because this contains the variable x. We need to replace it by some constant terms. So for that reason we need some value of x. So for that reason we also have to choose some preliminary values for delta. So let the preliminary values delta 1 equals 1. Exactly the same procedure. Value is, let us take 1. You can choose any other value also. Delta 1 is equals 1. Then we have x minus 2 less than delta 1. That is x minus 2 less than 1. Now expand it, minus 1 less than x minus 2 less than 1. 1 less than x less than 3. Now check this part. 5x square plus 6x plus 12. We get that x is less than 3. That means from there we can write 5x square plus 6x plus 12. This should be less than 5 into 3 square plus 6 into 3 plus 12. Right? Just putting the x instead of this, putting 3 instead of that x, because x is less than 3. Now calculate this part. 5 into 9, that is 45, plus 18 plus 12, that is 75. So we get that this upper numerator part is less than 75. Now we need to find out something for that the denominator part, that is x square plus 1. Now we need to find out something which is greater than, for which x square plus 1 is greater than something. Then we can write 1 by x square plus 1 is less than something, right? Now we have x is greater than 1. So using this inequality, this part, what we can write? X square plus 1 is greater than 1 square plus 1. Okay. This is equals to. That means from here we can write 1 by x square plus 1 is less than half. Just by taking reciprocal, this will be changed. Now putting all this value into this one there. So it will become our fx minus L. So it will become is x minus 2 into the first factor by 5 into this x square plus 1, right? That was. Now this quantity is less than, keeping this x minus 2 fixed because we can use the delta for that. So x minus 2 into, for the numerator part, this one we have already proved that this is less than 75. So putting it 75. Now this is less than 1 by x square plus 1 is less than half. So putting 5 into half, that is 5 into 2, that is 10. So this quantity becomes 75 by 10 into modulus of x minus 2, right? Now this will be less than epsilon if, this will be less than epsilon if this one, that is mod of x minus 2 is less than 10 epsilon by 75. That is ultimately, after by cancelling out by 5, it will become 2 epsilon by 15, right? So this is our required delta because x minus 2 is less than delta, and we are choosing the second one, which is called delta 2. So our new concept, a new delta will be delta equals minimum of delta 1 comma delta 2. That is, what was our previous delta 1? It was 1. And the delta 2 is 2 epsilon by 15. This one. Okay. This is our required delta for that problem. So this is how we find out the value of delta. Now I am giving you few more examples. You have to find out the value of delta for that, just by using this same concept. Write down example number 6. Prove that using epsilon delta concept, limit extending to 1, x by 1 plus x equals half. This one. You have to find out the value of delta for that problem. And the next one is limit extending to 3, root x equals root 3. This one. These two will be your homework. You have to find out not find out actually, you have to prove that this is our required L by using epsilon delta concept of limit. Okay.